Hello and welcome in another video in my channel, and as the title says, I did not give up on the Chieftain after the Infernal blow blew me away with bad survivability and overall bad DPS. So I decided to make an explosive arrow variation that suits the Chieftain and benefit from all the damage over time in the ascendancy nodes. I loved how this build comes out to be tanky, benefiting from covering the free covering enemies in Ash when you stand still, minus resistance to the enemy when you stand still, which you can utilize punishment curse that make the enemy take 50% more damage when they are uh, like in low life, ending up taking slams on breakfast with nice survivabilities and also like pulling up 20 million DPS total damage. The build is quite cheap. It's not that cheap, not expensive. It's around 5-6 divines, depend on the roll of your bow, if you link your item or not. The build, without any introduction, the core mechanics of the build relies on the Widow Hail. Widow Hail increased bonuses gained from equip quiver is multiplied based on the roll. I got 246%, so anything I put in my quiver I will get bonuses over the double. So guess what, I'm using a quiver that actually have tier 1 damage over time multiplier with attack skill fractured. Definitely if you get the other one with like damage over time multiplier with attack skills and fire damage over time multiplier with attack skill, the hunter influence, you will get a huge amount of DPS because you will gain over 200 around damage over time multiplier with attack skills. In my case, I realized in the build, in the PoE, that this is actually more than equivalent than buying a 30 divine orb expensive ignite explosive arrow 6-sling bow. For some reason, that is, I thought, like, it is smart way and cheap way. Actually, I bought this bow for 1 divine, linked it myself, and it is doing around 20 million DPS ignite. For the helmet, I'm using the Wilma, which actually any increase in your cast speed will apply to the attack speed. And the reason why I picked this, because simply you can abuse the fact that rings can actually have cast speed and attack speed at the same time. So what I did, I went to the market, I bought Fracture Tier 1 attack speed, Amethyst rings, and then slam it with Essence that give me cast speed, right? So you have cast speed and attack speed at the same time, and if you apply some quality about the attack modifiers or speed modifiers, you'll even boost your attack speed. So yeah, you can see that this thing gives me around 21% attack speed increasing, and if you use some quality which I didn't use, you can get even more. So both rings, I roll it with sextants, both have fractured mods, and eventually you're gonna stop having some fire resistance, some good roll life. You keep spamming these essences, they are pretty cheap in the market. For the quiver, same thing, I bought a fractured, as I said, you want to slam it with some chaos orbs until I got something that looks like this and I stopped rolling this. I wish I have chaos resistance instead of the dexterity. That will be really cool for the amount of chaos resistance. Right now I'm running with -7. Definitely this is not the final build. I did not spend a lot of currency on it. I just got armor piece 6 link with life, boots, life and life regen, and I made sure to have an implicit of the Exarch, +1 to maximum fire resistance, +2 to maximum fire resistance, purity of fire, have increased aura effect. That will boost my resistances up, so whenever I increase fire resistances, I will get more maximum for all the other elementals. For the belts, Died and Dawn, corrupted with determination, have increased aura effect, yeah, to get more defenses, more armor. regarding this matter for the glove, abhorrent interrogation, really great to apply with your stacks to make the enemy take more damage over time. And since I will let me tell, it says like your hit cannot penetrate and ignore elemental resistance. Yes, we're not doing hits, we're actually doing chieftain. Whenever we stand still, all the enemy around us have minus 20% to resistances for the fire damage over time. For the tree, it's a straightforward going from the starting point of the chieftain, taking some maximum resistances. I use the brutal restraint to get some extra charges, free charges for my flasks. And I forgot to talk about the flask. Yes, I have flask for chaos resistance to enhance my survivability, a flask for more armor. Both flasks have an explicit of increased caster speed and increased attack speed. So when I use both flasks, I will get the benefits of the caster speed transfer into attack speed from the Welma helmet. And then going down there to get like the Panopticon, I guess this node that will allow you to get maximum number of summon ballista. Anointing watchtower on my amulet, that's pretty cheap, it's like 2 silvers. Going way up, you must take this settling ash, because when you're standing still, your ascendancy makes enemies have minus 20 to fire resistances, sorry, the fire damage over time, and then immediately you will get a free covered in ash applied to the enemy, make them take 20% more fire damage. Yeah, and then here I put fluid motion to compensate, transfer all the strength into dexterity, so I can carry the bow and all the other items related to the dexterity attribute, and then making sure to have regenerate 1 life per second for each 1% of uncapped fire resistance. And I can see I have 250 uncapped fire resistance, and give me eventually a 1500 life regenerated per second, more than enough to withstand many hits. You can keep using the immortal belt instead of the diadem dawn to get even more life regeneration. In this orientation, I use an expensive jewel called the Unnatural Instinct. Actually, you don't need that, I assure you. I put it there and it's the same outcome. So like instead of going into that direction, you can simply keep going forward into minion damage, increase minion damage, increase your damage, and then you go down there to the spiritual command, increase attack speed for the minions, increase and reduction to the attack speed will also affect you. For the ascendancy, that actually you go to Salio, and Valaco is a must for the build to strive. And then you can use the Moon Presence to make the enemy target your totem instead of you. Whenever they damage your totem, the damage you totem will take will be recouped to you as life. And finally Ramako. I think the build is pretty cheap. 5-6 divine orbs cost me in total. Of course, I made things myself by doing, for example, the amulet. I just used the Scorch Fossil until I got the fire like level of all fire skill gems, fire resistance. I used a couple of essences on my rings. In here I just crafted board with fractured, slam it with the harvest craft, crafting life, and I got some life regen and movement speed. And that's it. That's the whole build setup. You can actually utilize using another items. For example, if you don't have the currency to craft these items, you can have a substitute uniques. For example, for the belt, you can have the immortal flesh to give you more life regeneration. You will not be affected by minus 25 to all elemental resistances. In case of you want more defenses and reduce, you want to replace the determination and put malevolence, or remove grace and get malevolence to get more damage. You can use the lightning coil that make you take physical damage as lightning. Is really a good defense measurement if you want to amp your attack. In case of the amulet, you have other substitution. You can put the stone of Lazoar, will give you cast speed that will become attack speed and chance to block spells. Really good. You can also use the amulet. You can use the warp time claps, which give you attack speed and cast speed at the same time, which really can make you put more fuses on the enemies. And you can also use the time collapse rings. These rings also have cast speed, attack speed increasing, that will be added together with the helmet. And if you want to really do a really tanky version of the build, you can stick your rear guard quiver, especially when you're fighting Ubers and you're expecting to get slammed with really big giant hits. This will give you over 60% chance to block attack, over 40% chance to block spells, and if you got it corrupted with a 12% chance to spell damage, if you put it right there, you will get around 40 to 60 chance to suppress spell damage, but your damage will go down, so I don't advise going to this. Just get a quiver with chaos resistance, attack speed, maximum life, and some damage over time, and you're good to go with 10 to 15 million ignite DPS for every 20 fusing you put on the enemy. Thanks for watching. Sorry to make it long, sorry stretching. The POB will be in the description. I will make 2 POB. One is really budget friendly without the unnatural instinct. The other one will have the actual build that I'm running in this video. Thanks for watching. Catch you in another video and stay safe. And this is the Exarch height. It looked like this. So the first step is to change the combustion or the prolif. I prefer using the embowered element, like prolif 4 clear. Make sure we have withering touch equipped. Supposed to be like a good fight.
Defiance ends here, hatchling.
We will win this together.
Annihilation. Disintegration. Cleansing. Incineration. Annihilation. Disintegration. Cleansing. Annihilation. Incineration. Annihilation. Disintegration. Cleansing. Annihilation. The fires of 1,000 suns.
Alright, this mode you can just put your totems everywhere.
That may be, but I am not alone.
How pathetic.
Yeah. I am pathetic. Yep. Totem.
Incineration. Disintegration. Cleansing. Annihilation.
This, I mean, being cursed with ally weakness is really annoying. Just die, please.
Until the others are determined as well.
endless.
Distasteful! Load them! Revolting! I shall free you! Be judged!
The end of the cycle of madness.